For my essay, I've chosen to focus on disneyfication, the global north and the global south, in regards to exporting American artificial and consumerist values into two very different countries and cultures. One of these is being France, Paris for global north, and the other being Hong Kong for global south. These two results have faced a lot of backlash, therefore making them an obvious choice to talk about in my essay, as there's endless things to investigate and talk about in regards to theories and literature based upon it. Disney first off has changed dramatically since their establishment in 1923, where there was only one studio and one theme park. Now they dominate the world with numerous TV networks, additional theme parks, a cruise line, merchandising in US malls, as well as stores across the globe, and plenty more success as well. Key theories I will be using will include Bryman's idea of disneyfication to therefore fit in line with the question posed, explaining what the term means as well as applying it to my theme park study and the other literature I find too. Linking to this, I will also use Disneyisation, also coined by Bryman, whereby part of his study suggests this term includes the idea of theming, where you're infusing a place or object to a particular idea, merchandising, whereby goods are promoted through promotional logos or ideas, as well as performative labour, making employees not only providers of services but also entertainers, which I partly touch on in regards to employees not breaking out of character once they're in costumes. I'll also touch on cultural hegemony, a theory by Gramsci claiming that legitimisation of wealth across the globe is unequal. Not only this, I'll use Tomlinson's idea of cultural imperialism, suggesting one society's culture dominates the rest of the world. In this case, America is one dominating the rest of the world by opening theme parks in places they don't necessarily accept that culture. For instance, Paris is very set in their traditional ways, completely different from American values and traditions, therefore creating a difference between Paris and Disneyland Paris. Therefore begs the question of if people are coming to Paris to see the culture or to see America's culture in their home. The key literature I'll be using is Real Masco's Disney Universe. This term is meant to denote the near universality and hence global reach of the company and its products to the face. It has created a self-contained universe which presents consistently recognisable views through recurring characters and familiar repetitive themes. Then leading on from this, Wasco's statement of classic Disney presents escape and fantasy, innocence, romance and reinvention of folk tales. I'll also touch on Kimberly Chow's statement of Hong Kong seen as a millennium dream come true in 1999, but Hong Kong's shame after opening in 2005. Then there's some other ones that are listed as well that I will be going into that have a lot of literature that I want to use. And one that I've not noted there as well is a study by Lung, some literature by Lung, that says that Hong Kong Disneyland attendance rocketed shortly after the park's establishment, but its first year attendance figures fell about 500,000 visitors short of its target of 5.6 million, which I think will be interesting to see the reasons why that dropped. And I think it was actually the same for Paris as well. So it'll be interesting to look into that. My key talk about in regards to the theme parks development and the individual theme parks themselves. So a case study on Hong Kong and a case study on Paris, which will be more than enough to talk about with how much is out there on both these. And that link is in fact a case study of Hong Kong that I will look into when I'm doing my actual essay as well. It's important as it's interesting to note how dominant companies like Disney can be allowed to develop theme parks wherever they want, regardless of the cultures and countries. It shows a shift in power, therefore deeming this topic to be an important one in understanding how these companies work. And it's also a massive company that's dominating the world, and it's interesting to research how successful they are, how effective globalisation of Disney is, and seeing if people do actually understand it in regards to theme parks. I'll refer to Global North and Global South for these two theme parks mentioned. It'll allow me to understand how the different ones work for the Global North and the Global South for one company, showing the similarities and the differences between both of these.